Hello everyone, this is Zebo and welcome to today's How Worthy video. So with this video, we would have covered all the 3 collab heroes that were released in this Garden Tales X Slayer Snakes collab. And the videos for Lina and Gauri can be found in the How Worthy series playlist. So if you're interested to find out more about them, feel free to visit the video. And without further ado, let us start today's video. Xellos introduces himself as the mysterious priest, but he's actually a high-ranking mazoku within the world of Slayer Snakes. So this unit claims to be one of the strongest mazoku in Lina's original world, and he serves under one of the Grade 5 subordinates, the Greater Beast. So in today's video, we're gonna analyze whether or not Priest Xellos is indeed as powerful as he is within the world of Slayer Snakes, and let us see how worthy is Priest Xellos potentially. Like his self-introduction, Xellos is a figure veiled in mystery, as many have attempted to figure out his identity and intentions. But the only response they got from him was, "That's a secret, so nobody knows until today." And he feeds off negative emotions from life forms such as fear, hate and depression, while extremely detesting the positive ones such as love and friendship. So he's known to be one of the most powerful mazoku, excluding the 5 subordinates, as he exterminated thousands of dragons during the Koma War in the past. Due to this incident, Xellos is still a feared entity amongst the elves and dragons. Xellos stats ranking based on level 83 heroes are 8th for attack, 25th for HP, and 7th for defense. His party buff is weapon skill regen speed plus 30%, which is the same as the gun form for Future Knight, and he also has an inbuilt skill damage plus 10% and a 5% shield increase on battle start. So for his normal attack, Devil's Pride, there are 2 parts. So there's one teleport, which allows him to move to nearby location really quickly. It works sort of like a Visual Vac normal attack, which allows him to jump in front. But other than that, I'm not too sure whether or not there's any iframe. In fact, I think there isn't any iframe when using this skill. So you can't actually dodge stuff with this, right? So this skill is more for repositioning purposes, but I might be wrong. So far, after using him for a bit, I haven't really found any iframe stuff, so probably not. As for the primary attack, Dark Magic, he will fire out spikes of dark magic at the opponent. So there's actually 4 different animation, or rather there's 4 different parts. So the first 2 as well as the last animation is able to pass through walls, whereas the third part of the attack is a pointy spike attack, or like a trident spike attack, right? It's not able to pass through wall, so do take note of that. So the chain skill Blast Bomb is a universal to down chain skill, which means that you can actually pair Xellos with other EX weapon and still carry out his Blast Bomb chain skill. But the chain skill is pretty straightforward, right? It's just a skill that deals 375% DPS and also increases all allies crit chance by 10% for 10 seconds. His special ability, Flow of Magic, increases the moving distance of teleport by 20%, so it allows him to move a little further to open up the gap, and also increases his defense by 30% for 3 seconds. So Xellos' exclusive weapon is a bit hard to understand in terms of the ability, so I'm just gonna make it like super simple. Basically, on hit, you're able to get like increased attack range as well as increased explosion radius. It also allows him to deal a little bit of damage similar to Lin, right? 90% DPS for 2 seconds. And this ability has a like 6-second cooldown, so every 4 seconds you're able to deal a little bit more damage. So in short, I think this ability is not very good because Xellos' party buff is weapon skill regen speed, and even if he has an extended attack range, it's probably gonna help him, you know, like dodge a little better, open the distance a little better while applying pressure, but not anything spectacular. And for the exclusive weapon skill Annihilation, it allows him to do like 245% DPS, right, in a pillar, and the animation of the skill has a few explosions. So if your enemy do stay in the explosion for like the full duration, 2 weapon skills will be sufficient to chain them, whereas in normal situation where your opponent will be moving around, I think you will take like 3 weapon skills, and if your opponent is highly mobile, probably even 4 weapon skill to fully chain them. Now in terms of the Colosseum ranking, I'll say that Xellos is honestly not very good there. because weapon skill regen speed units, they are not bad, but Xellos as a unit doesn't offer much for the team. He doesn't really offer any status resist down, neither does he offer any form of defense down, and he doesn't really have like a super good piercing attack range such as Future Knight. So even though the party buff itself is good, the unit in Colosseum is just not as strong. And for the dark teams, right, they have really solid units like Noxia, Okma, Arabelle for the Colosseum. So it's really hard to find a slot for like our dear Xellos over here. So that's why I think it's really hard to make him work within the Colosseum game mode. Now, moving towards the arena side, I think I talked about it many times. Currently, the meta or the pace of the game is very hyper offensive. So teams which relies on skill damage or teams which relies on their weapon skill is slightly on the weaker end, but Xellos can actually still work. So he's probably a good partner with our dear Veronica, right? Skill damage plus weapon skill regen speed, and Veronica can benefit from the weapon skill regen speed buff by quite a bit. Other than that, you can also try Xellos with like 2 other units, which generally benefits very well from having increased weapon skill regen speed. But that's pretty much it for Xellos, right? I don't think he will be exceptionally good. Yes, his skill set is a bit gimmicky. You're able to dodge a lot of stuff, but in the current meta where things hit so hard, even if you're able to open the distance, sometimes you just get sniped down even before you manage to use your skills 2 times. So in terms of the arena footage, I don't really have a lot because I don't really have a team that makes Xellos work. So I'll just showcase like 3 matches for my Xellos usage to let you guys see how to use this unit and generally how does this unit actually plays out.
僕としたことがしくじっちゃいましたね。もらいました。さあ、そろそろお遊びはおしまいにしましょう。もらいまさあ、そろそろお遊びはおしまいにしましょう。もらいました。僕としたことがしくじっちゃいましたね。さあ、そろそろお遊びはおしまいにしましょう。さあ、そろそろお遊びはおしまいにしましょう。もらいました。もらいました。さあ、そろそろお遊びはおしまいにしましょう。さあ、そろそろお遊びはおしまいにしよう。僕としたことがしくじっちゃいましたね。
Now moving towards the PvE discussion, I think Xellos is a pretty mediocre PvE unit which offers a universal chain skill, decent damage for the team, as well as the lowered weapon skill regen time for the leader units. all of which are not super exceptional nor game changing. And Xellos is not really crucial in any particular raid teams because he does not offer any form of debuffs, which is crucial to see big numbers. And the dark range raid team, right, is really not that powerful. You can try to put him together with Arabelle as well as Mark II and like put in another range buffer, but it's not super duper good there, so I don't recommend you try that. And in conclusion, Xellos is not really a bad unit, but he's buried by the fact that he does a little of what other units have to offer, so he's not super exceptional in any, and that's why he's buried in mediocrity, and therefore he is not that good of a PvE unit as a whole. So how worthy is Xellos potentially? In all honesty, I think Xellos is not that worthy in terms of his power level, as his kit is not that strong in the current meta of the game, and he does have this little teleporting gimmick which allows him to move around like a bee, right? Teleport and open up distance, but it doesn't really matter too much if you're unable to survive until you're able to chain your opponent. So the issue with the weapon skill regen speed party buff is that you have to balance between dealing damage as well as survive. So you can have a lot of tankiness by running double tanks, but that means that your team won't have a lot of damage to kill your enemy, and if you go full damage, then your team is gonna be really frail and they tend to die really easily without much of a defense. So therefore it's not easy to balance and make units such as Xellos work in most cases. However, should there be like units in the future which help to balance the damage as well as survivability within the skill damage team, then Xellos definitely has some potential to be really good in the arena, as he can be pretty annoying to chase if he's tanky enough and can just zip through the whole map with his teleporting skill. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and do let me know down in the comment section below whether or not you will pull for Priest Xellos. And do remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel in order to see more contents from the channel, and do take a look at the Zeeboship membership page if you want to support the channel financially. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!